Ain't no reason me even starting with the peace greeting, because I'm going in on you who are detractors of SYSBM, Passport Gang, Passport Brothers, Ibmore. If you got anything slick to say about any black man that gets a passport and is not going to sit tight and wait on the boom chic or the bonquish or the sapphire, this one's for you, nigga. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to one guy. Christopher Manning, in the comments section of one such video, said that young black male soldier that posted putting his Japanese ex-girlfriend's business out there for continuing to tender match behind his back had an option he just didn't know about. He pointed out that this guy could go a few miles away from the base, find a university student or a career woman, and it would be different. She was a barracks rat. What Christopher Manning did was say to the man, this is another option. Based on what he knew, this is another option. I can't knock Christopher Manning. Other guys in similar comment sections of many videos were taking digs. One said, SYSBM, huh? And somebody came in and commented, yeah, fit yourselves, black men. Fit yourselves, bowel movement. How about y'all fuck the shuck up? And I'm going to tell y'all why I said that. Others were like, yeah, y'all need to know this, those of you in the I Hate Black Women Club. How about you fuck the shuck up too? I'm going to justify why I say this, though. You see, number one, this guy here, I don't know his name, but like Miko, he's being associated with us, but he's not associated with us. Nobody SYSBM knows this guy. No one in Passport Brothers or Passport Gang knows this guy. He did not identify himself as either one of them, nor Ibmore, nor even Niqqa. He didn't say anything about a red pill. I think he got a red pill, but he didn't say nothing about it. See, Passport Brothers and Passport Gang know what it is. They travel just to smash sometimes. Other times they travel for business and to smash. But they're going to travel and smash. They're fornicating. They ain't looking for wives. And they'll even tell you, yeah, man, I was with her this weekend. Y'all know her? Yeah, I know her. Yeah, she good people. Yeah, I know her. She tried to get extra money out of me like I'm stupid, but, she can cook, boy. So they know what it was. So your thing is you want to act like we don't know what's going on abroad, like we just stupid, like we just let them do this because they're not from the States. No, these cats are like, oh, yeah, I know her. You know her, too. They know. They're not lying about this stuff. I could get on them about fornication. But see, the thing is, I can also say, well, what about SYSBM? They're not into that. They are about marriage. That being said, we don't know this guy, and this guy don't know us. And this is the second time some of you detractor niggas, you gynocrat goons and matriarchal mandingos tried to link someone with us that was not associated with us, either one of us. Either one of the groups I mentioned. Y'all tried this before with Miko. Y'all need to hold this L. No, Further Mucker, you need to hold this L. And I'm going to tell you why you need to hold it. Because you detractors, you come pretty much two types. Number one, you benefit from the effery in the West. You get in them walls and you ain't paying nothing. You take no responsibility, no commitment, but you all up in them guts. And you brag about it. And you're detractors right now trying to act like we stupid, like we had something to do with this guy. And he's not even the one that cheated. She did, according to him. Then there's a second type. And statistically speaking, more of you must be in the second type than the first. The second type does not benefit from it. They just wish they did. So they're going to sympathize with those who do and defend them, no matter what they do. An example of one who admittedly is in the first type is ARC. He has made the case for SYSBM and Passport Brothers and Passport Gang. He just doesn't want to admit that he made that case, but he did. Others, many others, statistically speaking, must be in the second category. You ain't actually getting the walls, but you talk like you are. You want to justify it. So you're going to brag about it. And you're going to join them in being detractors of the ones that are against the effery and who are willing to get out of the market with the effery in it. That's what's going on. Now I can tell you, I know South Africa's bad in the cities. I know it is. The way I know, shout out to MTC because, or MTR, I'm sorry. Shout out to MTR. He had the screenshot to prove it. They were bragging. How did you know you were a hoe? They were on there answering these things, bragging about some low down hoe bag stuff that they had done with their real names attached. And it's in the screenshot. This is South Africa. Not necessarily the rural areas, I'm sure, but it was South Africa. Now, if that's what's going on in Joburg, Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Durban, or maybe even a medium-sized city in the Mpumalanga province, for that matter, Pretoria. If this is what's going on in these areas, then what do you know is going on in the States, Canada, England, Western Europe, Scandinavia, Australia, and New Zealand, and Israel? What do you know is happening there? Exactly what she's doing in that video with the black American serviceman and the Japanese woman. Exactly what she was supposed to have been doing. However, in your face. So now you want to sit up and tell us that we don't know that it's, the same thing abroad. Well, that's because it's not. It's still worse than the West. How do we know? Because in the West, he's guaranteed to have that outcome. Guaranteed it'll happen. There is no question about it. It's going to happen. Unless, of course, she just yogly and got no other options. Not ugly, but yogly. And then has no other options, maybe not then. But if she's a 4, she feels like she can do what an 8 would do and get away with it. We know that's the case. The women that are not like that in the West, they're already taken, or they don't want to be with anyone else because they're too hurt by niggas like you guys, you detractors. Because you know what y'all do. You know how y'all get down. If you're really even able to do these things y'all brag about. Because a lot of y'all are fake alphas anyway. Y'all got to sit up and talk about, I'm so alpha. They'll never do this to me. Now, dumb nigga, they'll do it to you too eventually. Now, they may not start off doing that, but you get your harsh lessons you got to learn too. Your STDs, your kids, ducking child support warrants, especially when you get older and you ain't that hot no more. Yeah, y'all know what it is, or you will know. So anyway, I'm gonna say this last thing and then I'm gonna be done. Y'all talking about these L's we need to hold. I'm gonna tell y'all the story, and I want to give a shout out to Imam Sheikh Maulana Dwight Hayes for telling me about the playbook of the gynocracy when they disagree with someone. Because the playbook of the gynocracy is exactly what the children of Israel did to the prophet Moses. Moses, of course, being a prophet, peace to him, had to tell his people things they didn't want to hear because they were wayward. But then they became obstinate because they would do anything except at least say, okay, you delivered the message. They didn't even say that. No, they had to go against him, like make an enemy, because he told them things they didn't want to hear, like they needed to behave themselves. So one example, he was modest. He didn't show off his physique to people outside of his wives. So the people started saying that he was hiding something, like he had some major defect, or I'm sure they even said something about his manhood being small. One day he was bathing, and the rock on which his clothes were folded on top began to move. The Lord enabled that rock to move and run off. So he chased the rock to retrieve his clothing. Some people saw him. It was done this way. The Lord set it up this way so that people would see him, and it would not be Moses' fault because he was modest. He didn't expose himself, but he wasn't that he had anything to hide. The people saw him, and they saw his physique. They saw he was actually in pretty good shape, and they had to fuck the shuck up. Now, later, a rich man didn't like the fact that Moses, peace be to him, said that the rich had to share something with the poor. They didn't have to make themselves poor, but they did have to share some with the poor. Because the wealth came from not only your hard work, but also luck. You got to try, then God grants you what you're working for or not. This rich man named Karun took real offense to it. So he hired a prostitute to blame Moses, slander Moses. Moses confronted her in front of the people, and she fingered Karun and said, he paid me to say it. So Moses prayed to God to punish Karun on the spot, and Karun began to sink into the ground like it was quicksand. He's still sinking to this day. But the point is, let's look at what the people did in response to Moses. We're not Moses. We just men. Some travel to marry, some travel for business like me and then find someone to marry. Others travel just to smash. So we definitely are not, we're definitely not prophets, of course. So my question is, why would you do to us what they did to prophets? See, the gynocracy and the matriarchy has that exact same playbook that Dwight Hayes pointed out. The playbook is you start with character attacks and mental health diagnoses that you're not licensed to make. Oh, he's just saying this because. It's like when one of the elder women in the masjid that I used to go to in Atlanta told the young women that they weren't supposed to be wearing tight clothes, not even just in the masjid, but anywhere. And they were supposed to actually, wear a hijab, cover their hair, ears, and neck. And one of them stood up and said, you just want us to do that because you're old and fat and you don't want the competition. No, that's not why this lady said it. She was talking about a revelation from God, not her opinion. And so, the young ones just didn't want to listen. They just didn't want, that's all it was. So they're going to, instead of saying, well, that actually is in the revelation, that actually is in the text and the rules. We know this. Thank you for telling us. Instead, they want to attack her for why she's saying it. Or you just saying it for a bad reason. And granted, saying the right thing for the wrong reason is crap. But they handle this the wrong way. They're trying to diagnose her with something. Or trying to read her mind, anything except actually, what that is in the rule book. Now, are you sure you're not just saying this because of X, Y, and Z? No, I ain't even do that much. The next step, attack the sexuality of a man that they don't agree with. That's also in the gynocracy's playbook. Now, they would have done this anyway, but they did this to C.J. King. You could say, well, his hairstyle and his tight clothes gave them ammo. You can say that. But without those, they still would have done it. It just may have taken them longer. That was coming. Third thing, they're going to try to go after your family's reputation. All of y'all ain't crap. Next thing the gynocracy is going to do is either dox you so that they can get someone to go beat you up, or dox you so they can get you fired. Or both. That's what they're going to do next. Does this sound familiar at all? So why don't you all stop taking the first two steps that the gynocracy and matriarchy takes every time somebody disagrees with them? Just avoid those first two, because y'all done already took the first two steps. You're calling into question that young dude's manhood, even though he's young, still has to learn, based on his appearance. And you're sitting up trying to come up with all kinds of psychoanalyses as to why if he was a real man, he wouldn't do this. Hell, what does this guy know? You hold people accountable for what they know, not what they don't know. He looks pretty young. I mean, he looked like he still just got out of high school. I bet you his senior high school picture don't look no different than what you saw in the video. So he's still young. There's somebody you go to and you say, well, I'd like to be able to tell him X, Y, and Z so he can be ahead of the game for his age. You didn't do that. No, instead, what you're doing is you're trying to uphold the effery, because some of you benefit and others of you that don't benefit sympathize with those who do and identify with them and want to be them and will pass yourselves off as them. And you don't even benefit. If anything, that's effeminate, and that's a L y'all need to hold, not us. You trying to make martyrs out of regular men. Appreciate that. But none of us would sit up here and say that we're prophets and that we should deserve that. So why don't y'all just go ahead and fuck the shuck up and hold that L and grow the hell up and just admit you fighting for the wrong team. That being said, I hope that this message one day is no longer necessary. In the meantime, I hope it helps. Black heart, black mind, blackout, and black heterosexual, non-select male power, specifically because you goons and mandingos don't like it.